Hey everybody, it's Scotty from Scotty's Record Shop with another artist profile. A little late, but I try to get them done once a week. Do one for you once a week, but last week was just kind of crazy without getting into it. So here I am. It's a Monday. I'll post another one probably later on this week too, so I won't be too far behind. I'll try, and I'm not gonna, unlike the last one, which was like over half an hour long. This one's gonna be relatively short. The group only put out 6 albums initially. Before I get into it, as always, I want to thank everybody who's watching these videos, the people that are subscribing. You know, it's not everything. It's not about the numbers, but it is nice to know that people are watching. And that people are really digging it. Okay, so the group in question is the Cars, or as we'd say up here, the Cars. Yes, sir. Hop in the car and go to Fenway Park and watch the Red Sox win the World Series. Maybe. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the Cars are an interesting group. A lot of people, refer to the Cars as a Boston band, and they are, but they're not. The Cars actually got their start in Cleveland, Ohio. Indirectly, Ben Orr and Rick Ocasek were both from Ohio, from that area. As a matter of fact, Ben Orr, the late Ben Orr, was actually from Lakewood, Ohio. My wife would find that very interesting because my wife was raised in Lakewood. She grew up in Lakewood. Let me fix that there. Was born and raised basically in Lakewood with a few exceptions. And I've been to Lakewood several times. Nice town. Suburb right outside of Cleveland. You can pretty much walk into Cleveland from Lakewood. But anyway, that's where Ben Orr was from. And they met initially back in 69-ish or so, Ben Orr and Rick Ocasek. Met in Cleveland around 68, 69. They moved to Boston. And their first recording together was different. It's not bad if you can find the album. The group was called Milkwood. It came out in 1973. I've got a digital copy. I downloaded it off the internet years ago. I don't have it. It's a hard album to find. But it's interesting because it's a folk album. Folk, not like Peter, Paul, and Mary folk, but it's a folkier based record than the Cars were. A few more bands came along. They picked up some other members, met people along the way. And in 1977, we get the Cars. And the first album by the Cars, this one. If you don't have it, it's one of those you really, 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 really need. It's just a classic album, 1978. It was really cool. I remember being in Boston as a kid and listening to WBCN, and BCN was playing the demos from this. They had sent the demos to BCN, and BCN was playing the Cars before they were really kind of officially signed, and they were quite the hubbub. They were getting a lot of talk and stuff on Boston radio and stuff, and they were a great band. This is the inside of that, and here's your label on Elektra Records. I have one other copy of this to show you. Let me put this away, and that's this. A half-speed master. I'll say something about these. These were like, a lot of these came out in like the early 80s. I absolutely love the sound of these half-speed masters. They just, even better than personal opinion. Personal opinion alert. You hear a lot of these remastered things that are coming out now, and 180 gram vinyl and all this stuff, and I'm not saying that it's bad. Some of it sounds pretty darn good. But I'll tell you, if you can find some of these half-speed masters from the early 80s, these sound just really, really, really good, And this is actually a half-speed. I'm not even sure actually now. Yeah, I think it was. Super disc. Anyway, fantastic stuff. Let's put this over here. 1979. Yeah, that's really got me bugging me now, but I'm pretty sure that was a half-speed master. Sounded damn good. 1979, Candy O. maybe not quite as good of an album as the first Cars album, but really still a really good album. This is an original copy. A couple of these are original copies from back when I was a kid, so they still play good. They just aren't. The covers are a little worn, and again, nothing spectacular about that. A good album though. For the Cars, 1979. This back in here. Third album. When this first came out, I didn't buy it. I didn't like it. Since then, I've really learned to like this album. It's just grown on me. 1980, Panorama. I don't know. It was just a weird album for me back in 80. I just didn't get into it. But here's your custom. But like I said, now I really kind of dig this. You know, it wasn't commercially their most popular record. I think probably out of all their albums, this is probably the least commercial. Successful, anyway. They come back with another big hit album. Another one from when I was a kid. It's got ring wear and everything, but whatever. Shake It Up. (1981), I believe, was for this one. Inner sleeve on this one. Another really, really good album. My opinion, anyway. No custom sleeve on that. Custom label on that one, but the next album, commercially, their most successful album, and it's okay. I just can't. I don't know. It's one of these weird things. Heartbeat City. It was by far their most popular record. Hello Again. Ben Orr's had their biggest hit single, the song Drive, off of this. Who's Gonna Drive You Home Tonight? You know the song. And this doesn't have the original inner sleeve, unfortunately. There you go. What is that? I don't know. The album just doesn't totally do it for me. I mean, it's okay, but it just doesn't do it for me. But again, you know, it's a classic in many people's respect. It's a classic mid-80s LP. So, last one I have to show you is this one. In my opinion, they tried to recreate Heartbeat City again in 1987, and it just, you know, this has got the hype sticker and everything. It's still shrinked. I bought it even back in the 80s. I was trying to be a completist with collections, and I knew I wasn't going to dig it, but I was at Nuggets in Boston, and $3.99. It was sealed at the time. I opened her up just to give it a listen all the way through to find out if it was going to be something, and I haven't listened to it for years. Maybe my opinion's changed. Who knows? I'm gonna try to give it a listen. Let's look at the label on this one. This has got the later Elektra label from the 80s. So anyway, that's my Kaz, as we'd say in Boston, vinyl collection. There was a greatest hits. I'm not sure if that was ever issued on vinyl or not. I don't have it on vinyl. I have it on CD. And then there was the album that they issued after Ben Orr had passed away in 2011, which is a pretty good album, actually, all things considered. I think it was a pretty good album. And of course, Ben Orr has some solo stuff out, and so doesn't Rick Ocasek. So that's some other great stuff to look at if you're into the Cars. So, alrighty, that takes care of my Cars vinyl collection. Until next time, everybody, peace and love.